Good morning, friends, and welcome to your virtual art class. I hope you all had a wonderful weekend and that you enjoyed yesterday with a little bit of snow that fell, and maybe it actually stuck at your house and you got to go outside and play in it. Anyway, regardless of that, I hope you had a wonderful day and you're looking forward to today's art lesson. I am so excited to introduce you to this new artist that I've been following on Instagram. But first, let's start by saying our art mantra. Here we go. I am an artist. I create with my heart. I create with my head. I create with my hands. I can create anything. All right, so let's learn a little bit about Angie Rozelaar. She's an artist, like I said, that I have been following on Instagram, and she creates all of these wonderful illustrations of cats. And she's not only an illustrator, but she is also an author. And as you might know, an illustrator is the person that draws the pictures, and the author is the person that writes the story. So she does both. Anyway, this artist is from England, but she lives right now in France, in a little city called Normandy. Like I said, she's an illustrator and an author, and she writes books for children. She is completely obsessed with cats, just loves them, and her favorite materials to create art with are crayons and paint. These are her winter cats, which will be our inspiration. Excuse me. I want you just to take a look at these pictures to see what you notice about these wonderful illustrations. If you're sitting next to someone, maybe you can whisper some of the things you might notice about these lovely felines. Some of the things I notice is how the cat takes up most of the page. If you're just going to have one drawing of an object on your paper, you want it to take up most of the page, just like this cat does. I also notice how her cats are all different. Excuse me. Some of them have texture in them. Like I think this one might be a calico cat. And some of them have spots. This one has a cute little hat on, a cute little penguin hat. And look at these scarves, these wonderful big chunky scarves. And the sweaters and the scarves all have different patterns in them. The other thing I notice about these drawings is how they are drawn using simple shapes. And that's what I'm going to teach you, friends, is how to draw these cats. And we're also going to learn how to draw a puppy, if you'd rather draw a puppy. These are some of the books that she creates. So like I said, she's not only the author, but she's also the illustrator. So today you're going to need a pencil and eraser, maybe a heavier piece of paper if you have one, and if you don't, that's okay. We can make do also with copy paper. You might want to have some crayons, you might want to have some Crayola markers, maybe some color magazine paper, and some glue, all right? The other thing you might want to have too is a permanent marker. All right, here are our learning targets for today. So these are the things that we're really going to focus on while we are creating this artwork. The first one is, I can create an illustration of a kitty or a puppy in the style of Angie Rozelaar. So we're really going to focus on how she uses those simple shapes to create her artworks. I can use a variety of art materials to create a unique artwork. I really want to stress that sometimes you might not have all the materials that I tell you that you need, but that is okay because we can use any materials to create art. All we really need to have, friends, is our imagination. And the last one, I can create a drawing using different types of line. So maybe different angles of line, different thickness of line. Those are the kinds of things that we are going to be really focusing on. So let's get started. So what you can see here is I have started with a drawing of a puppy. And you can kind of see now all the materials that I've used. I have a thicker piece of paper, all right? I have some Crayola markers that I've put here on the background, but my drawing is basically all done with crayons. And I used a black crayon to draw with. Here I have a kitty that's kind of just in the basic stages of drawing, all right? So let's get started with the drawing part. All right. So what you want to do is find the middle of your paper. So here's the middle of my paper, about right here. And then you want to go up just a little bit. And this is where the nose is going to start. And I just am kind of realizing I need to zoom out just a little bit. So you can see the top of my paper. There we go. All right. So here's the middle of my paper. And here is where I want to start by creating an oval for the nose. So I'm taking my black crayon here, and I'm just going to create this oval, all right? Now you might feel like drawing in pencil, and that is great, and that is fine. But I'm just going to draw in my crayon. And I'm just going to color in my nose black, just like that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a small line down, creating the cat's muzzle. And on one side, I'm going to make a curved line up, and another curved line up for the mouth. So what I'm trying to do is trying to make it symmetrical or the same on each side. And sometimes that can be difficult. So just do your best. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a circle, a big circle right here for my cat's eyeball. And I'm going to do the same thing, trying, like I said, to make it symmetrical on the other side, just like that. Inside that, I'm going to draw a smaller circle. And there we go. Now, look, if you get to a point and you're like, oh, I don't like this, I want you to keep going. Even though you might feel like this might just be your beginning sketch, that's fine. I want you just to go through and learn these steps. So please don't just crumple up your paper. Just keep going with it and see what you might create. I'm going to put a little glimmer circle in each of my eyeballs, just like that. And now I'm going to color the pupil in like that. So there's my cat's eyes so far. Now you can decide if you want to put eyelashes on. I'm going to do that or not. All right, so there's my cat's eyes. My next step is that I'm going to draw a curved line at the top of the eyes. It almost looks like a unibrow, just like that. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a little bit longer line on the brow, just like that. So these two lines are sandwiching my cat's nose and eyes. Now, I'm going to bend this line and connect it here, and bend this line and connect it here. Now, friends, if I happen to be going too fast, you can always pause the video and rewind. It's all up to you. Now, I'm going to use my crayon to create a triangle for the ear. So here I go, a nice angle, and then I'm going to put a bigger triangle on the inside. I'm going to make another triangle over here, trying to make it symmetrical, or the same on each side, and another bigger triangle here. I'm going to try to make some nice thin lines here for some whiskers. They look like they have some motion to them. And I don't know if you know this, but cats use their whiskers to kind of feel where to go in the dark and so forth. So from here, I'm going to create my cat scarf. I'm going to do a curved line and a curved line. I'm going to create this curved line to create the idea of form or volume in the scarf. And now I'm going to make kind of a curved line down here. Once I finish that, I'm going to make a big triangle or a long triangle and a smaller or shorter triangle over here. These are the ends of the scarf, you know, when you kind of tuck it in to be all nice and cozy. I'll put a little textury fringe on the bottom. Now, how you decorate your scarf is all up to you. I love stripes, I love polka dots, whatever you'd like for it to be. You could also add words if you wanted to. I'm just going to add some stripy stripes. Just like this. Now, when I come here, the stripes are going in a different direction because these little ends of the scarf are in a different direction. Now I'm going to do the bottom. And what I like to do is find again the middle. And I'm just going to make a small little dot, just like that. And what you can do is you can take your finger and start here and trace just to get an idea of how you're going to draw the body. So I'm going to start here, and I'm going to try to find my polka dot. And I kind of did, it kind of went by a little bit, and that is absolutely fine. And then here is my other one, and I noticed I really made my cat look a little bit out of proportion, but I am absolutely okay with that. Now, with the tail, I'm going to come out and make almost, well, it's like a backwards letter L. After that, I'm going to draw two letter U's for the paws. And now, because we've learned that cats don't really float in the air because of gravity, I'm going to make the horizon line. Just like that. And my horizon line just goes through my tail. Anyway, so now I'm done with my cat. Let's do the puppy quickly. All right? It's the same idea, friends. We are going to start, find the middle, move up, and draw our oval. I'm going to color that in. Now I'm going to draw the line down, and instead of just drawing a straight line out, I'm really going to curve these. And with the dog, I could add a little letter U down here to make a tongue. Then I'm going to draw my eye here, my other eye here. And once again, small on the inside. And I'm going to make my blend marks and color that in. My next step is I'm going to just draw a smaller line at the top, unlike what we did with the cats. This is just going to cover kind of just above the eyes, just like that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a nice angle line here. And this ear is going to look like it's lying down. This ear is going to be looking like it's listening. It's going to be just like that. I'm going to draw my line at the bottom. And just like with the cats, I'm going to bend the line so they connect. So there is my doggo's head. I'm going to create the scarf. And remember to make the curved lines to make some volume. A big rectangle with some fringe, a small rectangle with some fringe, just like that. Once again, I'm going to find the middle, and I'm going to create my dog's body. I can trace it in with my finger if I want to, but I'm just going to go for it. So I'm going to start right here. Right here. Now, unlike the cat's paws, we're going to make the dog's paws a little different. We're going to start with a line here, and then two short lines right here and here. And then right in here, we're going to make something that looks kind of like our dog's paws. My tail is going to be long and pointy. And once again, my dog is not floating in outer space, but it is grounded by gravity. Now is the time that you can start decorating them any way you'd like. I have used crayon to do my dog's spots and the scarf. I use Crayola marker to create the fur color on the inside. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to take my paintbrush and start painting. And there's a little bit of blue on my brush, I just realized. So my dog is a little bit of a green color. But you know what? I'm not going to freak out about it. So I'm just going to continue to color all this. I'm not using a lot of water because I don't want the paint to kind of go all over the place. And remember, don't worry about going over the wax crayon because water and wax don't really mix together. All right. So I can do the same thing with my cat. I can make a cat a tabby cat. I can make a calico cat. I could make a black cat if I wanted to. You can make the cat that lives at your house. You could make the cat that you've always wanted to have. It's all up to you on how you create your cat and dog. So, there is my dog. Now the background, I've also used Crayola markers. And you might notice the surprise that I have there, waiting. Using the same kind of method we did with our snow globes, I created some snowflakes in the back and blended my marker so that I could create a nice wintry, chilly background. Now, friends, I can already tell that I have not put down enough color. Now, when we created our snow globes, you all did such a wonderful job with that. I was so impressed. So I just want to really enforce you or encourage you to create your background with enough color. Now, you don't have to create your background this way. You can also just use your crayons to create your background or your colored pencils. Whatever you have on hand to add some color to your masterpiece. So I would just continue with this, you know, and fill everything in as best I could using my paint and paintbrush. And I probably will come back here later and add just a little bit more color when it dries to help with my sky. And I want to get real close to those edges. Now remember, if you don't have a paintbrush, you can be using a cotton swab. Now, one thing I suggested that you might want to use and have are some colors from a magazine. Now, I didn't really cut out objects, I just cut out the color. And you can use that, if you want, to create the scarf pattern on the inside. You could use it to create like a little, if you wanted to make a blue background, you could tear things apart like what we did with the snow and the snow globe, and tear the blue so you could make a blue background to show how nice and icy and cold it was. You can make like a little mosaic like that and fill that space in all around. It's all up to you on how you want to create your color. Anyway, I hope you have enjoyed learning how to draw your winter cats and dogs. I hope you have a lot of fun with these. I can't wait to see your masterpieces. Let's end our lesson with a mindfulness activity called hot soup. So imagine you're holding a cup of hot soup. It's really much too hot to eat right now. It's burning, burning hot. So breathe in and say, it's hot, 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 hot. Breathe in and say, it's hot. Put one hand on your belly and see if you can feel your belly muscles working when you say it. Here we go. Breathe in. Hot. Put your soup down. Take a long breath in. And let it all the way out. I like to do this when I want to create a little bit of energy for myself and to just kind of help me relax a little bit with that energy. I hope you all have a wonderful day. I cannot wait to see your puppies and kittens. Take care of yourself and be happy.